My name is Glenn Woods. Thanks for joining me. So, yesterday, the Wyoming internet was rocked when the mayor of Cheyenne, Wyoming, described a meeting between her and the governor, and apparently things got a little heated in that meeting. Now, you read what she had to say on Facebook, but I thought it would make a lot more sense if she could tell the story in her own words because, Marion, you know that old game telephone that we played when we were a kid? You whisper the message from one person to the next, and by the time it gets around to you, it's not the same message anymore?
I do remember.
Yeah, I want to avoid that. So, first off, the meeting with Governor Mark Gordon was about what?
The meeting was about a proposed visit by the president of Taiwan to Cheyenne during Frontier Days.
Okay. Now, during the course of that meeting, why would anything get heated is what I'd like to know. Why would anything get contentious at all?
Well, excuse me, it started off, Glenn, and there was a differing of opinions. The governor, as he stated, had concerns basically about upsetting relations with China if we had the highest-ranking Taiwanese official. She's the first female president of Taiwan. If we had her here in Cheyenne, and I thought, absolutely not. Who cares what China thinks about this? I mean, I know why we care. I'm not politically naive when it comes to geopolitics, but Taiwan is our friend, and in fact, we have worked so hard to establish a trade office in Taipei. Taichung, Taiwan, is the second largest city in Taiwan, is Cheyenne's sister city. And quite frankly, the president of Taiwan liked my story as well as far as being the first female mayor of Cheyenne. And she is intrigued with the women's suffrage movement, the fact that Wyoming was the first state, in the Union 50 years, even before the rest of the United States gave women the right to vote. So I thought this was a great opportunity to promote tourism, to promote Cheyenne Frontier Days, to promote the relationship, and he had other concerns. Okay,
so in other words, the president of Taiwan is there to see you, not the governor.
Yeah, and I think he was felt a little upstaged by that.
Okay, so at what point, because, and I'd like you to describe it so that way we get it in your words, what exactly do you think happened that set the governor off?
Well, essentially, what I communicated to him was that if he had concerns about, how he might, upset the Chinese, so certainly we could work around him. We could work around the Capitol building proper. We could work around his, the governor's residence, and we could really just make this about Cheyenne and Frontier Days, and he wouldn't have to participate. And that is when I got the big slam down the hands on the table, stand up, leaning over into me with a big F you, mayor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at that point, I mean, did he just stop after that, or did he continue? Did he walk out of the room? I mean, after the big hands on the table F you, mayor, what could possibly happen next?
Well, I was really taken aback. I was shocked. Having supported him, I was appalled by his behavior. He sat back down, and of course, we'll get to that scenario here. But he sat back down, and I thought very quickly, one of two things: I could walk out of the room, or what I chose to do is carry on what I thought was a very important conversation, get the conversation back on the rails, and settle everything down. So we did that. We basically came to the agreement that while he still has concerns, we believe we can work around them. Both of our offices are reaching out to the U.S. State Department. And then, in fact, even I brought up a latter issue about the Capitol Square project. So I was able to be the adult in the room and get the conversation back on track.
Okay, so the whole thing lasted probably just a couple of seconds then. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the outburst.
Oh, the outburst did. Okay. All right. That's interesting. Now, since then, I understand, based on the press release the governor set out, because he's saying that while he did drop the F-bomb, he was not standing or pounding the table or anything like that, and he apologized for that, and he's leaving it there.
Yeah, well, that's really curious, and that even his own staffer admitted on the record that Mark was very angry. Again, his own staffer said that. And his own staffer said that Mark did hit the table. And he angrily said, F you, Mayor. So we've got the governor admitting he said, F you. We've got his staffers admitting that he hit the table and that he was very angry. And yet in his sorry, not so sorry so-called apology, he denied the behavior and the language.
Well, he did apologize for the FU, so I don't think there's a denial of the language, but the other behavior that you've described, there's a denial there.
Yeah, but let's think about this. Do you really think that the governor would be sitting there calmly and serenely in a chair and casually offering up an FU, Mayor? Really? It's not plausible.
Okay. So now you still, as you said, you were then the adult in the room and you were able to continue on the meeting after that. But between your statements and also the governor releasing a statement, you still have to do business with the guy. In fact, you can walk out of your office and he can walk out of his. You're just a couple of blocks from each other. You also move in the same social circles. So what happens now? At some point, you got to have a working relationship here.
Absolutely, and we did speak about that, the fact that he kind of intimidated that Cheyenne has some very big projects to come before the State Land and Investment Board, kind of a shot that, really I had nothing to lose by going, after I had everything to lose by making this public because, certainly I have nothing to gain politically and probably more to lose with him. But he did indicate that certainly we're going to be seeing plenty of each other. And the bottom line is he knows I won't back down. And I won't back down when he gets violent. And I won't back down when he throws temper tantrums in front of staff. And when he belittles women, when he gets upstaged. So
okay.
It's kind of wrong woman to bully.
It would be... Well, you never bully a Wyoming woman. Listen, frankly, you just don't. That's asking for a lot of trouble. That's a hornet's nest right there. Okay, so what about the staff members that were in the room at the time? Do you have names? Can they step forward and corroborate your story?
I do. In fact, it was Lynn Bush, she's the Director of Homeland Security, that admitted his anger and the table pounding behavior. And then Rennie Burke is a policy analyst for him, and then Erica Legursky as well, too. So, let's just do this in front of staff. And let me kind of backtrack. Nick Reynolds with the Casper Star reached out to me, well over a week ago, I think, and asked me if I've been hearing any rumblings about what appeared to be a very large turnover in the governor's office. And I think he did it because I recently stole, if you will, Mike O'Donnell from the state, from the governor's office, and I don't know, perhaps the governor wasn't happy about that, but after experiencing this firsthand, well, I first responded to Nick that, it's all kind of hearsay. I hear that it's a threatening work environment. I hear that it's a hostile work environment, but having experienced it firsthand on Friday morning, I thought he should know. And not just him, but, in the sake of transparency, decided over the weekend to make it public.
All right. Did you have to think about it long? That's kind of a big step. And, you open your size, you've seen on social media, that opens up you to a lot of criticism because, people who weren't in the room will automatically start armchair quarterbacking what they think happened.
Well, absolutely. And and I did want to think about it, and I didn't want to make a knee-jerk reaction. I think you and I have both spoken about the importance of kind of stepping back. And, what I really realized is that, first of all, I thought if a similar situation were to happen to his wife or his daughter in a boardroom, I think that he would find that behavior threatening and intimidating. Furthermore, I know I don't want this kind of work environment for my daughter. And so the more women that can speak up about their experiences when bad behavior happens, I think the better. And it puts people on notice that this just cannot be allowed.
Okay. Mayor Orr, thank you for coming on with us. I appreciate your time.
Yep, have a great day. Thank
Okay.
you.